Okay, so now we learned about widget, element, and render trees. And especially understanding the relation between widget and element trees is really important. And it is important to keep in mind that for widget trees, the build method is called very frequently, whenever the state changes, for example. But on the other hand, elements are not recreated unnecessarily. Now we can also use this newly gained knowledge to take another look at keys. Because it turns out that in Flutter, this key concept is in the end related to this widget element tree thing and how Flutter updates the UI. And just in case it's not clear what I mean, with keys I mean these keys which we had to accept as named arguments in all our widgets and which we forwarded to our parent widgets. Or the case where we actually used this key parameter to add a key when working with the dismissible widget in the previous course sections. That's the keys I'm referring to here. So what's up with all these keys? For that, I prepared the keys folder with various files, and in there you have this keys.dart file, which in the end defines a to-do class, and this is in the end a data model, not a widget. But then I also do have a widget in there, the keys widget, which is a stateful widget, which then has a bunch of dummy to-do items that will be output on the screen, and some order state, some order property that can be changed, which defines how these to-dos will be ordered, so in which order they will be displayed. There then is a getter, which uses this order state in the end to sort this list of to-dos using a built-in sort method to, in the end, compare two to-do texts with each other, and compare two will do an alphabetic comparison. And then this sort method in the end makes sure that the list items are sorted accordingly, and we use this order state to determine which items should come first, depending on whether we want to sort ascending or descending. It's also worth noting that sort is being called on a copy of my to-dos list here. So that's my dummy to-dos list, and I'm creating a copy here with list of, because sort is a method that changes the list on which it's called, and I don't want to change the original list stored in underscore to-dos, but instead I just want to work with a copy so that the original list always stays the same in memory. But that's just a side note, and I'll get back to this concept of working with data in memory a little bit later anyways. But this is what I'm doing here. I'm ordering the to-dos based on my order state. This order state is changed here in this change order method. And this change order method is simply triggered whenever this text button here is pressed, or this icon text button here. And you will see this button in just a second. And then down there I have a simple column. We could also use a list view. Here I used a simple column because I don't have many to-dos here. And I output my items here, my to-do items, with that in list for loop syntax, which you also saw before in the course, where I have this for loop without curly braces to tell Dart which items should be added to this list. So that's what's happening here, and here I'm using the ordered to-dos, so the to-dos that take this order into account. And we can now use this keys Dart file in the main Dart file by replacing UI updates demo here with keys. And for this, you also must add an import to package Flutter internals, which is my project name here, keys, and then keys.dart. And we can get rid of this import since we're not using UI updates demo anymore. So with that, we're using this widget. And if you now force a reload, you should see this app, and you can click this button to change the order, and you see that indeed the order does change. This item here is always in the middle because alphabetically it's always between the other two, but the other two items do swap the place depending on the order we choose. And this simple demo app is great for diving into the concept of keys again.